Hey everyone, happy Saturday, happy college football. Welcome to week 3. This is Porcelain Picks, and I'm your host, Andrew Fabian, coming to you live from the great, beautiful country of Aruba. Here at Porcelain Picks, we do not take weeks off. We are here for you to give you all the locks of the week. All right, so let's jump into week 3 action. We've got Penn State at noon, traveling to Illinois to face the Fighting Illini. It is a Penn State 2-touchdown favorite as of this morning, so Penn State's minus 14. We've seen Coach Franklin over the first 2 weeks of the season make it a point to cover in week 1 and then pour it on to Delaware in week 2. They're 2-0 against the spread. Penn State's passing game and running game have been clicking on all cylinders so far. Illinois with a suspect passing defense. So we do think that Drew Aller is going to be throwing the ball all over the field today. I see this being a 38-17 type Penn State win. Illinois does give them some trouble historically, but lock it in for Penn State today. Lock it, flush it, Nittany Lions minus 14 over the Fighting Illini. All right, we'll move on to Mississippi State playing host to LSU. So this is a big SEC matchup. Mississippi State will have the Cowbells going at home. They always put up a tough place to play for any road traveling SEC teams. LSU is definitely the more talented team. They come in as a 9.5-point favorite here. LSU's got Jaden Daniels. He's going to be able to run the ball against Mississippi State's stout rush defense. That's actually where Mississippi State struggles, is guarding against running quarterbacks. But the home field advantage, I think he's going to keep this a one-score game today. LSU's going to win. It's not going to be pretty. It may be a high-scoring game today, but I think Mississippi State keeps it within the 9.5. The Cowbells, let's go. Mississippi State plus 9.5. Lock it, flush it. Move on to Northwestern Duke. Really ugly, historic matchup. These teams play quite often. If you look back over the last 15 years or so, it's usually a low-scoring, nasty type game. The difference this year is the Blue Devils look to be for real after walloping Clemson in week 1. Are they for real, though? Is their defense for real? It looks to be. Northwestern, they've got a stout defense year in and year out. We know that. Their secondary can turn the ball over this year. This over-under is set at 48.5. Northwestern is also a 17-point dog playing at Duke. I think they're going to keep it close. It's going to be a Duke victory. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a slugfest like usual. That 48.5 is way too high for these two teams. So the 2 picks in this game are Northwestern plus 17 and the under 48.5. Take them separately. Do not parlay them. Lock it, flush it, collect your money. All right. So Tulsa, or Tulane rather. We're going to skip Tulsa for this week. Tulane, coming off that loss to Ole Miss, is a 12.5-point favorite, traveling to Southern Miss this week. I think this line is doing a disservice to Tulane. I think they're a complete team. They could have easily won that game against Ole Miss. They got a little bit unlucky at the end, and I think they're going to be coming out with a vengeance today in the state of Mississippi. They're going to take out Southern Miss in a big way. So take Tulane minus 12.5, lock it, flush it. Move on to the Ohio State Buckeyes. So Ohio State's underwhelmed this year. They are playing host to Western Kentucky. They're 29.5-point favorites as of this morning. Ohio State and Notre Dame have that big matchup next week. Will the Buckeyes be looking forward? Will they have a down week this week? Will they struggle against Western Kentucky? No, they won't. Western Kentucky is a solid team. They score, they put up some points, but Ohio State is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. Everybody, including me, is saying that they're the 3rd best team in the Big Ten East and that they aren't for real this year, that they've got some struggles. They've got the quarterback controversy. Is it Kyle McCord? Is it Brown? Who's going to be the starter? So we think that they have established Kyle McCord as the starter, and that's going to be a good thing for the Buckeyes. They're going to come out looking for blood today. They're going to try to blow out Western Kentucky ahead of this Notre Dame matchup, and I think the 2 best receivers in the country, and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka, are going to come through today for the Buckeyes, and they're going to blow Western Kentucky out of the stadium, headed into that Notre Dame matchup next week to give us all something to talk about. So take Ohio State minus 29.5, lock it, flush it. We'll move on now. All right, so this game's a little bit of a question mark for me. We've got Michigan State playing host to Washington. Washington is a powerhouse so far this year. Michael Penix Jr. is destroying defenses week in and week out. That's why he's a Heisman favorite. But we have Michigan State also with a lot of adversity coming off Mel Tucker and the sex scandal that just came out this week. So will they be able to put together another strong week? Michigan State's also a quiet 2-0 out of the gate. They've covered in both games. This is a 16-point underdog at home, and I said this right out of the gate. This is the week for upsets. When you have no big matchups, when you don't have these top 25 matchups that are putting college game day on tap. We think Michigan State is going to keep it close at home today. All this adversity, they're going to be coming out to just play the ball game. They're 2-0 against the spread this year. I think they're going to keep it close. I think Washington does end up ultimately winning. Michael Penix Jr. is for real. They're going to be able to throw the ball on Michigan State. Michigan State's strength is their secondary. So far this year, they're the sixth best passing defense in college football in the short season so far. So it's going to be close. I say Michigan State plus 16. Lock it, flush it. All right. 2 games left to pick. So we're going to go to Tennessee against Florida. So another decent matchup of two somewhat solid perennial SEC teams. Tennessee comes in at a 5.5 point favorite traveling to Florida. I think that's too tight a spread for a team that's much stronger than what this Florida team has put together so far. Florida and Graham Mertz have been consistent, at least. When it comes to not turning the ball over, Graham Mertz has been okay. He's done nothing flashy, and I think he's going to need to be flashy today against Tennessee. He's not going to be. Joe Milton is just too powerful. I think he's going to start to find his stride as the season progresses. I think Joe Milton's going to be able to fling the ball around. They've got guys at the running back position like Jabari Small who are going to be able to run the ball on Florida, so they can beat you in multiple different ways. And I think Tennessee is going to flex today, minus 5.5 at the time of this recording. Take Tennessee, lock it, flush it. They're going to win by more than a touchdown, probably double digits in this game at Florida. All right. So the big night game at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we've got Colorado and Coach Prime playing host to Colorado State. We know the controversy that's come out. Colorado State's coach saying that, when I talk to adults, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my glasses off, I take my hood off, I take my hat off. Coach Prime, obviously, instead of just not worrying about it, took offense to it. Why give him bulletin board material? This guy's going to come out. He's going to have his team amped up to play. Guys like Travis Hunter are going to continue to come through from Coach Prime. They've got 3 of the most prolific receivers in the country in the short season so far. So I think Colorado's going to come out. They're going to look to stamp on Colorado State and exert their dominance in the state of Colorado. All right, so take Colorado minus 23.5. I think they're going to win by 30 plus today as Dion tries to make a bit of a statement win here. All right, so moving on, the last 2 picks actually with the Joey Mac picks of the week. We've got 2 of them for you. So we've got, you're going to take Toledo money line and Liberty money line. You're going to parlay those. It's going to give you a little bit better than even money. So Toledo money line and Liberty money line, parlay the 2 together. The second Maction lock of the day is going to be Liberty Buffalo. You're going to take the over 54.5. These picks coming to you courtesy of Joey Mac. Lock them, flush them. All right, so that's the slate today from Porcelain Picks. I'll follow up. I'm going to have in the notes section, I'll write out these picks for you so you can easily access them. But we look to make you money every week. Like I said, we don't take weeks off at Porcelain Picks. I'm going to go enjoy Aruba. You go enjoy your college football Saturday, and we'll be back to recap these picks on Monday. All right, so lock it, flush it. Have a great college football Saturday. Have a great week 3. Over and out.